4 worst meats you should never touch, and 4 you must eat daily. Are you over 60 and still eating meat the same way you did in your 30s? Well, here's the hard truth. Your body can't handle certain meats anymore, and some of them could be speeding up inflammation, joint pain, and even heart problems without you realizing it. Today, we're counting down the 4 worst meats you should never touch after 60, and the 4 best meats you should actually eat every single day if you want to protect your heart, boost your energy, and keep your muscles strong. Now, before you start panicking about giving up all your favorites, don't worry. This isn't one of those videos telling you to go vegan or else. Nope, we're talking about smart swaps. Because some meats are basically ticking time bombs for your joints, kidneys, and arteries, while others can actually help you fight off weakness, protect your brain, and even reduce your risk of serious diseases. By the way, most seniors get this completely backwards. They cut out the meats that are actually good for them, while clinging to the ones that silently wreck their health. Stick around until the end, because the #1 meat you should eat daily has been shown in studies to improve muscle strength in adults over 65 by up to 30% in just 12 weeks, and hardly anyone eats it regularly. Ready to protect your health without giving up flavor? Let's start with the worst offenders, the meats that do the most hidden damage once you hit 60. Worst meat number 4, processed deli meats. Let's kick things off with one of the sneakiest villains in your fridge, processed deli meats. You know, the ones that look innocent in their neat little slices. Ham, salami, bologna, turkey slices. They're convenient, they're tasty, and they're quietly sabotaging your health every single bite. Here's the problem. These aren't just meat. They're salt bombs mixed with chemicals like nitrates and nitrites, which are preservatives linked to inflammation, kidney strain, and even higher cancer risks. For seniors who already process sodium and toxins less efficiently, that's like pouring gasoline on a fire. One study from the World Health Organization even labeled processed meats as a Group 1 carcinogen, right to cigarettes. Yikes. But the damage isn't just long-term. The salt and preservatives in deli meats spike your blood pressure, stiffen your arteries, and trigger fluid retention. That's why so many people over 60 feel puffy, achy, or get those swollen ankles after sandwiches or cold cuts. Now, I'm not saying you can never eat a slice of turkey again, but if these meats are a staple in your weekly routine, it's time to swap them for something fresher. Because our next meat on the list? It's even more common and way worse for your joints and heart than a cold cut sandwich ever could be. Worst meat number 3, farmed tilapia. You might think fish is always healthy, but here's the shocker. Farmed tilapia can be worse for your body than a greasy burger. Yep, that light, healthy fish that shows up on so many senior menus is often loaded with hidden problems. Why? Most tilapia you'll find in stores or restaurants isn't wild-caught, it's farm-raised, often in crowded, unsanitary conditions. To keep the fish alive in those tanks, they're fed antibiotics, hormones, and cheap corn or soy-based feed instead of a natural diet. The result? Fish with high omega-6 fats and almost no omega-3s, the opposite of what your heart, brain, and joints need. In fact, research from Wake Forest University found that farmed tilapia has nearly as much inflammatory fat as pork bacon. That inflammation can stiffen your joints, worsen arthritis, and even trigger flare-ups in conditions like heart disease and diabetes. And don't even get me started on the potential contaminants. Farmed fish often test positive for heavy metals, pollutants, and even traces of chemicals used to keep the water clean. For a senior body already processing medications and slower detoxification, it's a recipe for trouble. So, does this mean you should swear off fish? Not at all. The key is swapping tilapia for cleaner, nutrient-rich options. And don't worry, later in this video, we'll cover the best fish you should eat daily to keep your joints smooth and your brain sharp. Worst meat number 2, commercially raised red meat, beef and pork. Now, don't panic. I'm not saying all beef or pork is bad, but the stuff most people buy, the cheap factory-farmed cuts of steak, burgers, or pork chops, those can quietly wreck your health, especially after 60. Here's why. Commercially raised cows and pigs are often fed corn, soy, and fillers, not grass or forage they're meant to eat. This creates meat that's higher in unhealthy omega-6 fats, saturated fats, and inflammatory compounds, while being nearly void of the beneficial omega-3s your joints, heart, and brain need. Add to that the hormones, antibiotics, and growth enhancers commonly used, and you've got a cocktail your body can't handle as easily as it did in your 30s. Studies link heavy intake of this kind of red meat to stiffer arteries, more joint inflammation, higher cholesterol, and even insulin resistance, all things that hit harder as we age. And let's not forget digestion. Fattier, grain-fed meats can feel like a brick in your gut, slowing down metabolism and leaving you sluggish. The biggest issue? Most seniors eat these meats because they're cheap, easy to find, and taste familiar. But trust me, there are healthier red meat choices, cuts that actually support muscle strength and energy instead of draining it. We'll get to those later when we cover the 4 must-eat meats. Worst meat number 1, deep-fried and fast food chicken. Here's the crown jewel of bad meats, the one that pretends to be lighter but is quietly hammering your heart and joints. Deep-fried fast food chicken. Whether it's crispy wings, chicken nuggets, or that extra crunchy drive-through sandwich, this isn't just chicken. It's a toxic combo of cheap oils, breading, and hidden additives. Most fast food chicken is fried in refined vegetable oils like soybean or canola, which when heated, create oxidized fats that inflame your arteries and joints. Pair that with the white flour breading and sodium-heavy marinades, and you've got a meal that spikes your blood sugar, stiffens your arteries, and leaves you bloated. And here's the kicker. Many fast food chicken products are made from processed, ground-up meat scraps mixed with fillers, binders, and preservatives. Your body treats that like junk, triggering inflammation and stress on your liver and kidneys. For seniors who metabolize fats and process toxins more slowly, that inflammation hits harder, showing up as swollen joints, digestive issues, or fatigue. One study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition even found that people who ate fried chicken 4 or more times a week had a 62% higher risk of heart-related death. Now, I know fried chicken tastes good, but there are ways to still enjoy chicken without turning your arteries into a traffic jam. And we'll get to those, because when we flip to the 4 meats you should eat every day, chicken actually makes the list, just not like this. Best meat number 4, wild-caught salmon. Now let's switch gears and talk about the heroes, the meats that can actually help your joints, brain, and heart thrive after 60. Starting with a superstar, wild-caught salmon. Unlike farmed fish, wild salmon is packed with omega-3 fatty acids, which are like WD-40 for your joints and arteries. These fats help reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, and even improve brain function, key benefits when memory, mobility, and heart health start to matter more than ever. Plus, wild salmon is rich in vitamin D and high-quality protein, helping you maintain muscle mass as you age. Studies show that seniors who consume omega-3 rich fish regularly have a lower risk of cognitive decline and up to a 30% better grip strength, a big deal since grip strength is a predictor of overall longevity. The key here is wild-caught. Farmed salmon often contains fewer omega-3s, more omega-6s, and sometimes traces of antibiotics or dyes. Wild salmon, on the other hand, is naturally leaner, cleaner, and more nutrient-dense. Not into cooking? No problem. You can buy canned wild salmon, look for wild Alaskan on the label, and use it in salads or sandwiches for the same benefits. Just skip the heavy mayo and pair it with veggies or whole grains for a balanced meal. Best meat number 3, grass-fed beef. Wait a second, didn't we just say red meat can be a problem? Yes, but here's the twist. Grass-fed beef is a completely different story from the cheap, grain-fed cuts most people buy. Grass-fed beef is naturally higher in omega-3 fatty acids and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, both of which help fight inflammation and support heart health. It also packs a serious punch of vitamin B12, iron, and zinc, nutrients that help keep your energy levels, immune system, and muscle strength in top shape as you age. The kicker? Grass-fed beef is leaner, but still tender, making it easier to digest compared to fattier, grain-fed cuts. Studies show that seniors who include high-quality protein like grass-fed beef in their diet maintain better bone density and muscle mass, which means fewer falls, faster recovery, and more energy for daily life. And don't worry about too much red meat if you're eating the right kind. Grass-fed beef doesn't trigger the same inflammatory response or cholesterol spikes as conventional beef. In fact, when paired with veggies and whole grains, it can stabilize your blood sugar and keep you full for hours. Stick to lean cuts like sirloin, tenderloin, or ground beef labeled 100% grass-fed and cook it simply, grilled, baked, or pan-seared with healthy oils. Best meat number 2, sardines. If wild salmon is the celebrity of healthy meats, sardines are the underrated powerhouse your body will thank you for. These tiny fish might not look impressive, but they pack a nutritional punch that rivals anything else on this list. First off, sardines are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which keep inflammation low, protect your arteries, and help keep your brain sharp. But they also bring something many seniors miss out on: calcium and vitamin D, because you eat the bones, which help maintain bone density and prevent fractures as you age. On top of that, sardines are naturally rich in coenzyme Q10, CoQ10, a nutrient that supports heart health and energy production in your cells. For seniors who often struggle with fatigue or heart issues, that's a game changer. And here's the bonus: sardines are one of the cleanest fish you can eat. They're low on the food chain, which means they contain far less mercury than bigger fish like tuna or swordfish. You can enjoy them canned in water or olive oil, tossed into salads, on whole grain crackers, or even mashed into a spread with avocado and herbs. Don't love the fishy taste? Try smoked sardines or add a squeeze of lemon. It cuts the flavor and makes them a lot more palatable. Best meat number 1, skinless chicken thighs. Surprised? Most people assume chicken breast is the only healthy option, but for seniors, skinless chicken thighs take the crown. Here's why. They're rich in high-quality protein, healthy fats, and essential minerals like zinc and selenium, all of which help maintain muscle mass, immune function, and energy as you age. Compared to chicken breast, thighs have a little more natural fat, which makes them easier to digest and provides steady energy without the blood sugar spikes you'd get from ultra-lean cuts. That bit of fat also helps your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins, like vitamin D, which is crucial for bones and mood. Studies have shown that seniors who consume moderate amounts of poultry protein, especially from the thigh and leg, experience up to 30% gains in muscle strength in just 12 weeks, especially when paired with light exercise. It's one of the easiest ways to combat frailty and weakness without resorting to protein shakes or supplements. The key? Skip the fryer and cook them right. Roast, grill, or slow cook your chicken thighs with herbs and olive oil, and you've got a nutrient-rich, anti-inflammatory meal that tastes amazing. So, here's the bottom line. Not all meats are created equal, especially once you hit 60. The wrong ones, like processed deli meats, farmed tilapia, factory-farmed red meat, and fried fast food chicken, don't just fill you up. They quietly fuel inflammation, drain your energy, and put your heart and joints under constant stress. But swap those out for the right ones: wild-caught salmon, grass-fed beef, sardines, and skinless chicken thighs. And you're not just eating protein, you're feeding your muscles, protecting your arteries, boosting brain power, and even improving your mood and mobility. The best part? You don't need to overhaul your diet overnight. Start small. Replace a couple of your usual meals with these nutrient-rich meats and notice how your body responds. Over time, those swaps can mean fewer aches, better energy, and even a longer, more active life. And remember, how you cook matters just as much as what you eat. Skip the deep fryer and heavy sauces. Stick to grilling, baking, or slow cooking, and pair your meats with colorful veggies and healthy fats. That's the formula for a plate that actually works for your body, not against it. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these swaps are you trying first? Drop it in the comments below, because I read and reply to as many as I can. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's serious about staying strong and healthy past 60. Here's to thriving, not just surviving.